Yo, what's up? This is Shellstar here to do a My Hero Academia review of chapter 112. Sorry about I wasn't able to do it earlier, but I got sidetracked. Already went and read through this one. Nothing really major happened on it. We learned a little more about Inasa and surprisingly of Todoroki as well, and the reason why he don't like Todoroki, which I agree with a lot of people. Inas is pretty much just stupid, but let's go ahead and review it. Also, I recently been made aware by one of the people who look at my channel that apparently somebody named Soul Madness got pinged for showing stuff on iPad, which is really stupid because I mean every time I show you it, everything's backwards, so it's not like you can actually read this thing, but whatever. Let me go ahead and put a disclaimer. This is not intended for copyright infringement or profit of any kind. This is solely for entertainment. The title, Hit My Hero Academia belongs to its owners, which I currently don't know the names of. I'll go ahead and put this disclaimer down at the bottom, and that'll be the end of that. I'll put it on from now on with all my reviews just so that I don't get bugged about it later. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get into this chapter now. Let's see, we're basically finding out that Inasa, like even as a kid, he was one of those who didn't know fear as such. He like did things like normal kids do, like play with bugs, and like he's literally playing with bugs while like two girls are there. But I'm pretty sure he was thinking like, oh, they get cooties or whatever, so I don't care. And he just goes on to show that he played with whatever they caught his interest and took a liking to it. And naturally, that of course included heroes. And he starts thinking like he wanted to be a hero, and whenever he found himself in a pinch, he challenged it head on. Uh, and that's what he thought a red hot fighting spirit was all about. And one of the reasons why he didn't like Endeavor was because it was his eyes. They were hateful and looking far somewhere far ahead. And says that those were the eyes he despised the most. Okay, whatever. So we go up there and it seems like let's see, this part I never really got, but apparently there were students who were taking different portions of the exam. Like in this one, we see some of the Class B kids. Uh, Mega Drawby right here. He's from Class 1A. Class 1B. This dude. So I'm guessing like the robot exam wasn't the only one. There were other like they had different exams set up all across to determine who were going through, and like obviously people were eliminated and they were sent to the general educations and uh, uh, class one class 1A. Like it's not just composed of the people who took the robot exam, but people who took like the other portions of exams as well, such as Todoroki here. So that explains why we didn't see him there and how Bakugo got a higher score. Anyway, for this exam, the format of the exam is 3K marathon. However, this is a course you cannot hope to simply run across. They're free to make use of their quirks and dash to the finish line. So, it seems that Inasa, at first he was hyped up about getting into the highest level hero academy in all of Japan, and he was actually like he didn't originally hate Todoroki at first because he was actually impressed with how Todoroki used his quirk, and he was somewhat creeped out by Todoroki's eyes. But at the same time, like I said, he was impressed with his skills, and they were actually pumping him up. And he's looking like Todoroki's sure to pass, but he should take this opportunity to try and take this opportunity to make friends with Todoroki, and he's sure if he made friends with Todoroki, then his eyes wouldn't bother him anymore. So Inasa's like not a complete prick at first. So yeah, he is thinking about like, okay, this guy's eyes bother me, but he's probably not that bad, so I'll just try and become friends with him, and I'm sure I'll be able to overlook the whole eye thing. So Inasa's not a complete idiot. But let's see. After they both crossed the finish line, and it looks like it was done less than an average time. And Inasa like okay, he actually beat Todoroki by an inch or two, so that's impressive. But like he's cheering and whatnot, and he's looking like, yeah, you're Endeavor's kid, you were amazing, man, and that ticked Todoroki off. Like Todoroki's looking like this is an exam. If I pass, then that's all that matters. I never had intended any. I had never had any intentions of competition with you. You're just a nuisance. Again, Todoroki hates his dad, and as such, he kind of dislikes his dad's fanboys. And when he said that to Inasa, Inasa immediately like, okay, he's just like his dad apparently. So that's the end of the flashback, and we once again cut over to Deku, who's looking like, what the hell do you think you're doing? Like he went ahead and saved that kid that was on the ground, and everybody in the stands is looking like, yeah, what are these two idiots is doing? And they're even commenting like, if this is how they're acting, this is surprise the highest scores in Japan let them in, and as a result, they don't think that they have a high chance of passing anymore. And suddenly after that, like Inasa, like he's not saying anything. He's just still giving those that stupid glare. But at the same time, Todoroki, he's like remembering, like, oh shit, that's what was bothering me. That wind user quirk. It was from back then. He's looking like Todoroki remembers that he was trying to ignore everything that responded around his dad, and that included his fanboys. And now he's starting to regret that because he's starting to think, oh, so this guy might help me because he might hate me because he thinks I was looking down on him or something akin to that. So after Todoroki comes to realization, like I'm not sure if he like planned to, but he's probably gonna apologize to him later for what happened. But as Todoroki gets distracted, again his arm is covered in cement. This motherfucker shows up, Gang Orca, and he's looking intimidating as hell. Like I can see why he's like I think he's like the fifth highest villain hero that looks like a fucking villain. Yeah, there's a good reason for that. I'm probably wrong, but anyway, he it looks like he was gonna attack Todoroki at first, but actually he attacks Inasa because Inasa's win is a pain. So he paralyzes Inasa, and Inasa also gets hit with the cement gun. So Inasa is going down. He's actually losing consciousness. And as that was happening, Todoroki, he looks like he's about to try to help Inasa, but again, he took his eyes off Gang Orca. Big mistake. As a result of that, Gang Orca grabs him. He's like, you get what you deserve. He also sends a high pulse that paralyzes him. So Inasa's down, and Todoroki's also getting ready to go down. But at the same time, freaking Inasa is still trying to attack Gang Orca with a wind blast, but it's not effective. However, we get a bit of information from Gang Orca. Turns out he starts to be a certain distance close to his opponent in order for it to be fully effective. As a result, since it wasn't fully effective on him, Inasa still is able to use his quirk. Not nearly as good as he was before, but due to the distance, Inasa is like he's not paralyzed like that last dude was. Anyway, he's basically taking down Inasa and Gang Orca. And I mean, he's basically taking down Inasa and Todoroki. And he's like order his minions, okay, go and mess up the evacuations. And Todoroki and Inasa, like they're pretty much despair. They look like, God damn. He's like, what the hell do you think you're doing? They're thinking about what Izuku said, and they suddenly realize, fuck, we really screwed up. Inasa's like saying he became the one thing he hated the most. So both of them are currently despair, and Todoroki's like saying my actions are what created this whole situation. I've got to turn this around and take back what I've done. Yeah, so both of them are trying to figure it out. To me, I don't really think Todoroki's currently at fault. I mean, yeah, I admit, back then he was kind of a dick to Inasa, but at the same time, Inasa's the one that couldn't put that behind him. Todoroki didn't even remember him, and even though Inasa clearly hated him, Todoroki was willing to to work with him last chapter. But Inasa was just kind of being a bitch. So as a result, I think this fault more along lies with Inasa than Todoroki. So Orca's gang is currently, well, that's just weird saying that. Orca's gang is currently going after the evacuations. Izuku, he was carrying that dude who got taken out, but he's looking like crap. I got to put this guy down with the others, and I got to take care of these. But it turns out he can actually move, and he uses his shake-up quirk to like blast up the ground around them to keep them from reaching hostages. It turns out, due to the fact that he has a shake-up quirk and is always shaking him around, it turns out it rattles him. As a result, he's built up something of a resistance to things that rattles his brains and whatnot, such as sound waves and vibrations. So he can't use his quirk as effective as before again because he did get a direct hit, but at the same time, he's like not completely defenseless. Anyway, like we understand that before he was faking everything, and as a result, we thought he was kind of shady. But it seems like, despite his sneaky attitude, he is willing to work with UA because he's looking like I've shut down that movement. It's up to you to put them completely out of commission. And Ezekiel's like, better yet, let's split up our efforts and evacuate the rest of the victims ASAP. And you can see that the victims are like, these two are actually working together. Better off than those two dumbasses. Again, I think it was more along the lines of Inasa than Todoroki, but whatever. So now that he's finished off the wind user, he's gonna go after Izuku and the hostages. As this was going on, Todoroki admits that it was pointless to fight him, and like him and Nasa had terrible compatibility, and they weren't working at all. And he's like, he thinks of a quick plan. He's like, if by chance you're thinking the same thing, with heat and wind becomes unstable, I'll scoop it up from the bottom. And Nasa's like, I'm completely numb. I can barely squeeze out an ounce of power, but who gives a damn? I gotta do this. With flames and wind, like Todoroki activates his flame side, and then also uses to activate his wind, and they basically scorch the living shit out of Gang Orca. And then we get this little tidbit: while surpassing their egotistical and stubbornness, a blazing whirlwind fusion technique bursts forth. So yeah, they just, like I said, they pretty much blaze the hell out of Gang Orca. And that's pretty much the end of the chapter. Let's see, this is monitoring. Yep, they don't got any fan off unlike the other sites. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the chapter right there. Like I said, not a lot happened. Gang Orca just got taken a major hit. But I don't think he's down yet, but they definitely did some damage to him. So he'll probably have a difficult time beating Izuku and that quirk user who with the shake-up quirk. But that's pretty much it for chapter 112. Pretty short review. Usually my reviews last like 20 minutes, but like I said, I'd already read that particular chapter, so I already knew everything that was going on. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to the next chapter. We're going to see what's going to happen then. I'm not sure if Todoroki and Inasa are going to pass because, again, despite the fact that it was Inasa's fault for the majority, they really looked bad, and they probably lost a shit ton of points. So it's kind of it's more against them. I'd say they have about a 70% chance and like a 30% chance of passing right now. I think that's a fair assessment given how badly they fucked up. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Leave your thoughts, comments, and subscribe below if you want. Till then, Shell Stars.